Okay, Nina, I have some questions for you just because, I talked to a lot of colleagues and such about how support DDS can better serve their practices. And everybody knows the support DDS, we can do insurance verification, we can supply people for the phones, but something that has come up a lot here lately is my dentist colleagues needing insurance help. And we get into the conversation sometimes and we'll throw out the word RCM, and that's a stumper for a lot of dentists. So what is RCM, and what about RCM? What about it's important to the dental practice?
Absolutely. So for me, the best way to describe RCM is it is the tracking and managing of the financial aspect of the patient care that you give. Our goal is to ensure that dental practices receive timely and accurate reimbursements for everything that you do for the patients. And this really starts from the first visit and it goes all the way until you are paid in full in some way for the services rendered.
Awesome. So if I could sum it up, it's how we get paid for what we do.
Okay, yes. And each part of that is super important. So, from patient data being inputted correctly to verifying the benefits, submitting clean claims, and
Right.
then it goes on from there. Posting insurance payments is important, but also watching if things are accurate and are you being reimbursed for the things you should be reimbursed for. So, working denials, overdue claims, things like that.
Right. I'm curious because I know you've been in the dental RCM space even before dental and dentists knew what RCM meant. But I know you've been in the dental RCM space for like 20 years, I think. And what do you find, or what have you found that we're missing most of the time? Like, because I know this is just an area that we are not experts, and a lot of times we are the managers of our own practices. And so I know this is a place that gets missed a lot. And what do you find that we're missing?
I think there's two answers to that question. The first would be proper billing. So, are you billing for everything that you should bill for? It is very common that most office managers are overworked. I hate to say that, but they really are. They're doing everything for the office. So checking charts and auditing charts to make sure that you actually bill everything that you should bill for, that would be one. And then a lot of times I think that payment posting, people just kind of think it's, data entry. It's so much more than that. It's, is the fee schedule accurate? Are the adjustments accurate that the insurance company is saying? Did they deny things correctly based off of the insurance verification? So it's a lot more than just data entry. And to add to that, with AI coming into play, a lot of people think that's just going to solve it. It's going to be the most efficient thing ever. It may be efficient, but is it accurate?
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think you're exactly right. And when you say our office managers are overworked, I mean, you're right. And especially, there's a lot of forward thinking dentists that are now running their practices very efficiently and really running them like a business. But that hasn't always been the case. A lot of times our office managers are doing all of our RCM, or our insurance tasks, as we used to call it. And they're also picking up our dry cleaning, and at the end of the day, they sometimes get the message from the owner doctors that the dry cleaning is more important than the RCM task, and then we wonder why a month later we don't have enough money in the bank
To pay for that dry cleaning
to
bill.
pay for the dry cleaning bill. That's exactly right. Yeah, no, I've definitely seen it, and I'm saying this not to poke fun at any dentist or anybody. This is a life and a struggle that I've lived in my own business life. Right, is figuring out, that our office managers are a lot more than can pick up our dry cleaning or our kids or whatever the case may be. So that's awesome. And if you have an office manager that'll do all that, then you've really got a gem, right?
But in all fairness, they're not really doing what they're best at, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think most people hire office managers, one, to run the practice for them, but then also that patient care that they give, the attention to detail, the way they can make people feel is also, I think, why you hire certain office managers.
Yeah, I totally agree. And usually that's why they become the office manager, because they're so good at that. And that's really probably what they need to be spending their time on, not some of those menial tasks that can easily be outsourced to a place like Sport DDS, where real dedicated, not a real professional, but dedicated professionals can be tending to those tasks as their sole duty rather than their duty amongst 13 other things. So that's awesome. So I know that at Support DDS, if somebody wanted to hire you guys for their RCM task, there's a couple different ways they can come in. They can either come in at an elite level or they can come in at an essential level. Tell me, what is the difference?
Yes. So my favorite answer to give here is it's a choose your own adventure. And the way that I really help someone decide what their adventure should look like is, do you have time to train and guarantee the success of that team member? If your answer is yes with no hesitation, then you can absolutely go the essential route. If your answer is, ooh, I don't know, I'm already really booked up, I'm not sure I can commit to that, or absolutely not, then I would suggest going the elite route. And the difference there is with the elite program, one, you get my oversight along with another US worker. We also have specific RCM experienced support team members in Zimbabwe and Zambia to support these team members. And they aren't working on your account. They are simply there to hold the team members accountable, to teach them, coach them, to get them up to industry standards so that you really don't know the difference between hiring someone off the street versus hiring us.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned something about on that elite level side, they get oversight from you. What is your role at Support DDS?
Well, I'm kind of like that office manager. It's all encompassing, but the real answer is I am driving the KPIs for you. I'm looking at the data that we pull from the team members' work. So a lot of what we do is in regards to claims management. So working your over 30 buckets. And with that comes, why is this claim over 30 days, over 90 days, whatever it may be? It's not just because the insurance company decided not to pay for it. There is a reason, there's a root cause to that. And ultimately, week over week, we can trend what is actually happening internally for you. And because you're so busy and your office manager is so busy, we can help you with some operational suggestions of, hey, you might not have known this. This is the amount of money it's affecting. And here are some suggestions that might help you. You can take the suggestions or you don't have to. But it's just simply, 25 years has given me a lot of knowledge to share, and why keep it to myself? And ultimately, I think that most office managers have the capability to, they just don't have the time or energy to put into this.
Yeah, I mean, something I say to colleagues a lot is RCM is so nuanced that claim follow up and getting insurance to pay in the timely manner and pay what they're supposed to pay is a nuanced task. And it's exactly why so many office managers hold it really close to the chest because they've figured out some of those nuances. But then as the practice grows, it becomes too big of a beast for them to continue to be handling at the same time that they're delivering that exceptional patient care that they're also known for. So I think what you just said, you've got 25 years of experience and you're offering that expertise to your entire team, which is then going to trickle down to my account if I'm your client. So I love that because the truth is RCM is incredibly nuanced and it takes years of experience and knowledge to know, okay, now I know I'm going to have to attach this x-ray and I know I'm going to have to attach this description if I'm going to get a bill that paid, and just different little things like that that a newbie might not know coming into the mix.
Yeah, I think the other portion of it is strategy. It is not just simply printing a report and calling A to Z. There is a way to be efficient about it and to get as much done in a day as possible, especially if that is the only task someone's doing. Now, sometimes it's not, but even when one team member is doing all of the RCM functions, we support that team member in being efficient throughout their day so they are doing everything, but also making an impact in the areas that are important to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if I had RC, I mean, even maybe let's say in my practice we were we were behind. I mean, let's say that I looked up and I mean, I have a great insurance coordinator and I know that I could be guilty of this. You know, she decides to she has a senior in high school and maybe she's going to take her senior in high school on a 2 week trip, you know, and I just make the false assumption that everything's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, you know, I get 30 or 60 days outside of her having been gone for a few weeks, or maybe, you know, even worse, it happens to a lot of my colleagues, you know, that senior insurance coordinator retires and we just assume somebody's going to pick up the pieces to that. But then we look up and we've got 30, 60, 90-day buckets that are filling up. Our bank accounts are empty. How could your team support my practice in that moment?
Absolutely. So, really, to me, working someone's insurance aging is by far the easiest thing to do a plug and play. We have so much knowledge on our team besides me when it comes to this function. So, really, I think the hardest thing is you sharing your insurance portal with us so that we can get as much done for you as quick as possible. It seems that a lot of organizations don't have that compiled into one smart little place. So it's a nuance to share it with us. But beyond that, it's super simple. Day one, we can get started. I do, as I said, I track KPIs. No team member is going to start on day one and hit industry standard metric, but our goal is, I always tell people, by the end of 90 days. Now, there are team members that we can get up and running much sooner than that, but some of that also is, what has the organization given us? What has the office given us to really be efficient as possible? If you have no logins, phone work is brutal right now. It is so slow. Insurance companies are, just making it more and more difficult to get through to them. So
Right.
portals.
Yeah. And is that something, if there was an organization out there that needed your help, but they hadn't never done any of that, they never really did put good systems in play, especially at that elite level with your strategy and oversight, could y'all help them with that?
And we do, with organizations that allow us to. Like you said, sometimes you have an office manager who really holds these things close, but these are absolutely things we can support on, along with many things. Even researching or getting you ready to be signed up for EFTs as opposed to getting paper checks. Now, we can't do the signature or the bank part, but we can get the form. We can start the process for you. So yeah, there's a lot that we really can help with.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, you answered a whole lot of my questions about RCM and about what that particular offering at Sport DDS does. Anything else like that, as I'm talking to my colleagues and such, then I need to be sure and let them know?
I think that if an office has outstanding insurance aging, and if they don't know the numbers, if a practice owner does not know the numbers, they do need more help than what they probably think. And it's no fault to anybody. There's simply just not enough time in their team member's day to get it all done. And to me, that's where they really need the support. If they're planning on growing, absolutely start now. It's so much easier to get remote team members in place before things get too chaotic.
Right. Yeah. I say that to my colleagues a lot. Like if if you have a growing practice and maybe you do have good systems in place, but you're going to need to add additional team members. Think about, adding remote team members through Support DDS where you're going to pay, 40 to 50, sometimes 60% of what you would pay for a US based team member. But you're building your team with a full-time team member at a significantly lower rate. So whether you've got great systems and you can bring them in on the essentials level and do the training and metrics and things yourself, or you need good systems and you need your help to help create those good systems and want to come in at the elite level. Either way, you're going to get a full-time team member for significantly less than you would have to pay on the US side. And they're good quality talent that already are somewhat of industry experts in this space. And those are hard to find.
Absolutely. Very hard to find. Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Nina, for answering my questions today.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you one question.
Okay. Got it.
Since you are a practicing dentist and you utilize Support DDS, what would be your one piece of advice to someone who is thinking about bringing on remote workers?
I get out of your own way. Like get creative, get creative with all the things that can be done remotely. Like that's a hard hurdle sometimes for us in dentistry because yes, what we do, we weren't even able to go remote during COVID. So we kind of we extrapolate that and we say that that's across the board for our industry, but it's not. Every other industry, utilizes remote team members. So get out of your own way and get creative. No, we're never going to find a remote dentist, although I'm working on that. I'm trying to figure that out. But we haven't figured that out yet. But there's a lot of things at the practice level that we can handle remotely. So get out of your own way first. And then really my biggest piece of advice, if maybe the owner doctor is on board, the owner doctor is really thinking outside the box and they want to utilize, get your key admin team member on board with you. If that means, getting on a call with you, you've been an admin team member before, Nina, you can talk team member to team member. I've gotten my own office manager on a call with me before with a potential client because, I want them to be able to talk office manager to office manager. And the quicker you can get your internal admin team on board, the quicker that external team member is going to get trained up, become a part of the practice, and really be a valuable asset to your business.
Absolutely. I do agree. I think if there's any internal hesitation, really helping them understand the why behind it and getting them comfortable makes the relationship that much more successful. So awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
totally agree.